Now, the story that follows in Matthew 19:13-22 is a very famous one, and it's very instructive as well. The story is about a wealthy young man who comes to Jesus inquiring about eternal life. And unlike the Pharisees and the scribes, this man's question seems to be very sincere, even if ultimately he fails to follow Jesus. Jesus says that the man needs to keep all the commandments to enter life. That's his answer. Now, this is not the whole story, certainly, but it is the beginning of Jesus' dialogue with the man. We know that Jesus knew the man's heart. And as with the Canaanite woman from Matthew 15, or Nicodemus from John 3, or the woman at the well from John 4, Jesus was leading the conversation on to draw this man out. And then in verse 21, we have this very important idea that what the man really needs, according to Jesus, is to be, and I'll give you the Greek word here, teleos. I'm giving you the Greek word because this is a particularly difficult one to translate. It's the same word we saw back in Matthew 5:48, very interestingly. The common translation of perfect doesn't work in modern English. It didn't work in 548, and it doesn't work here either. Because again, perfect has these connotations of sinlessness. Instead, what Jesus says to this man is that he needs to be teleos. And the idea of being teleos, or whole or complete, is again the notion of completeness and wholeness and even singleness of devotion. This again is the same key word and idea that we saw back in 548, and it's really key to the whole Sermon on the Mount. It's the word Jesus uses to summarize his instructions about the law. And this wholeheartedness is precisely what the Pharisees lack. So the point Jesus is making here is what we've already seen. What matters, in fact, not simply keeping the commandments, as if we could really do this anyways, but what matters is having a wholehearted orientation toward God. Jesus apparently knew this was the wealthy young man's problem, and so he presses to the heart of the matter. And he tells the man to sell all of his possessions because he knew that the man's problem was, even though on the outside he did obey God, there was something holding him back. He lacked wholeness of heart, and the thing holding him back was money. You see, selling all of one's possessions is not required of every Christian. There's nothing inherently evil in ownership of property or money. There's nowhere in the Bible where everyone is told to sell everything. Jesus is a good soul doctor, and he knows exactly what each patient needs. This young man's heart was entrapped by wealth, as can be seen by his inability to choose Jesus over his possessions, to choose eternal life over the pleasures of this life. So truly, as Jesus has taught, where a man's treasure is, there his heart will be also.